Hello, it's Eric from E.M.B.R, and today we are back for stage 3 of the SISU Pinkki series, Tides and Temples. This one's got a big hill in the center. I don't know that I'm going to be able to stay with it, but we're going to give it a shot, and we'll see how it turns out. In the middle of this, I may have to let go of the front. We'll ride the best we can, and I may be able to catch back on if I get dropped, depending on how bad I get dropped by riding the descent well, but we'll see. With the long grind up epic in the middle of this, definitely the route doesn't favor me. Honestly, this whole series doesn't favor me from a route perspective. It was a struggle even on the 6 or 7 minute bump that was in stage 1 for me to stick. And stage 2, going up Bologna, that vertical wall at the end of that time trial, that definitely didn't help me. Yeah, and this more the same, and if you look at the future stages, it's pretty rough, but this is how you challenge yourself, so we're going to enjoy it. We're going to do the best we can. And as always, I will time-lapse this. The front of this leading into Epic's pretty sedate. Epic, things start to fire off for sure, but we'll get there when we get there. Fishing for a feather. There we go. We're holding that. Yeah, I highly expect I'm going to need all the help I can get on the climb, so feather it is for sure. Almost certainly to be deployed in desperation at some point. If you're noting a lack of confidence, yeah, part of it's the route, part of it's I'm right in the middle of some functional overreach training, both running and cycling. Definitely putting work into the legs, and I know this is going to be a rough stage. That's someone going, but I'm not worried. Unless people chase it. There goes someone poking the bear. It does seem whenever things are slow, somebody's always got to poke and prod and encourage people to go faster, and yep. Field response as always. We pick up some pace, and I gotta go, which I would have been happy for it to be slow. Early signs are I still haven't adapted to running, but we'll get there. This set of routes I was never going to be in GC, so just support SISU and get some training impulse in. We land where we land. And I have dropped McCurry made because between running 2 races from SISU and just other structured training, that's more than enough. 3rd race in a week is too much. So something had to give. Even dropping that, again, the early adaptations to running are causing a lot of DOMs and fatigue. So it's just a lot right now. It'll ease up, but while we adapt, really need to focus on rest and recovery. Easy days. And understand that on performance days or intensity days, I may not have the normal juice until I get to the other side. Part of the process. I see Joe here. Everybody be kind to Joe. No more coning, whether it's AI or user requested. Leave Joe alone. But for sure, on a different day, I would want more intensity throughout the whole course of the race. Today, though, I just wanted it to be easy till I got to the hill so I had a chance. On the hill, I won't be able to escape that pressure. Nowhere to hide. Yeah, even those little mini surges up these rollers was kind of hitting me fairly hard, but my sense was sit in the middle. I'm not chasing anything down. Hopefully it'll be fairly calm. But yeah, anytime we hit a roller here, for certain, have to do a little bit of work. Fortunately, it's kind of blue and gray. That's why I'm sort of speeding this up. Not too many attacks, really. Again, you hit a roller, maybe I go into yellow or orange power for a little bit, which doesn't feel great, but I'm feeling the pressure in the legs. Do what you can do in the day. That's all anyone can ask. And again, this front section has been mostly fine. I'm just thinking about the long grind of that hill, and I won't have anywhere to hide. But for the moment, it's pretty lighthearted. Somebody did note that one of the rider names says 8 years old. Usually it's a 58-year-old. I kid. If really 8, then good stuff kid and good stuff parents. And then they note that said 8-year-old is 28 kilograms. And I have a little bit of a think about that and take on some fuel while we go through the descent, and I think I did the math right. For the day, 170 watts would get you to 6 watts per kg. But fun and games aside, the mountain is approaching fast, and well, here we go. And I put this at 400% speed, not 800%, because it is the climb. But yeah, right off the bat, Nando is off the front like a rocket. He's the furthest red dot up to the front, and even forming a gap off just everybody. I know I'm not chasing Nando. Nando's a great rider. Like on a flat course or on maybe a 5 or 6 minute climb route, I can hang with him. You know, I'll be struggling on that 5 or 6 minute climb, but burn some matches, I can hang with him and then have a chance on a sprint perhaps. He's still going to beat me, but I can at least stay attached. Here I knew he was gone, especially like he seems to be feeling it today because he dropped to everybody, not just me. But yeah, for the rest of the field, legs are, you know, that big red section of power, I could feel that. My cardio is fine right now, just body fatigue, leg fatigue. They're just not firing the way they normally would, so I could feel it. I'm kind of fading on the back, but trying to stay attached the best I can. Kind of knowing that I'm not going to make it to the top with a full group, but hoping that maybe there's a few others, you know, at least a secondary chase group that's fairly large, you know, and maybe I don't get dropped by too many folks off the front. For the moment, though, it's just Nando who's gone. I'm definitely dragging on the back, and some other people attack and push. I'm like, yeah, that's going to push the pace even further. Am I going to be in more trouble? Yeah, more orange. I was trying to sit back a little bit and no longer do that, so definitely pushing orange power and definitely feeling it. And I'm going to slow it down here to 100% in a second, because as they're pushing up these steep section here, the watts are going and I'm feeling it. It's pretty much one last surge, standing, desperation feather time. I'm even steering to the inside of the curb to try to be more efficient, but yeah, as much as people complain about steering, it's rarely the difference, and it's not going to save you on a climb like this, that's for sure. I hate to say it, guys, but my legs are not recovered. We're going to sit in. Yeah, the main culprit this time was a 17-kilometer run with about 160 meters or so of elevation. I did it on Thursday. I'm not going to DNF. I knew it could impact me, but I need to get my running volume up as well. So my cardio is fine, but my musculoskeletal system needs to adapt to running. And race is May 31st, so I've got a limited amount of time to get ready. And yeah, sometimes the race might get impacted, or an intensity effort elsewhere might get impacted. We're making it work best we can. But if you notice, while I was talking about running, the group behind me passed me and went by as well. So I definitely need to get my head back in the game. Sit up's one thing, but I need to be part of a chase. So knowing I've got the descent to work, but I got to keep it close here. So as this rider passes me, I grab his wheel, sit and draft a little bit on this flat section, and another one comes by. It's like, all right, now we've got to be back in race mode here a little bit. You can't keep falling backwards. The two in front of you stay attached. There's a few more attached coming from the back. It's alright if they catch. You know, we could form a reasonable chase group. That's not a bad thing. Want those ones in front of me to come back though as well. And in order for that to happen, I've got to be a lot closer when we get to the descent down the grade is the thought process. So I'm little surges here, staying attached. Here comes those folks from behind me. I'm fine with them catching at this point. Again, a larger group for a chase is not a bad thing. But I definitely want to keep the eye on those few that are up the road. There's like, 3 or 4 of them. Don't want them getting in the way. There's another group even further ahead, probably they're not coming back, but those ones that are 15 seconds up the road or so, I'm absolutely focused on getting to the grade descent and then starting a proper chase, knowing how to work a descent. That's the goal. And yeah, and not getting dropped by anybody else at this point, just staying attached. So yeah, here right as we're getting towards the end, a little bit of lightning stalks, a little bit of pop, hoping the folks behind will chase, but yeah, just trying to keep that gap, which is now 20 seconds, a little bit closer, right? And if they get 30 seconds out or something, then people just don't chase or won't help chase. I'll be doing a ton of work and it could be bad. So here I'm doing a normal move that I would often do, and that is just take some power and punch. I'm figuring, again, I'm not trying to attack or drop the folks that are with me, but I'm trying to encourage a lot of speed. Normally that would send me off the front. In this case, yeah, they're right past me, which is surprising. Not normally how this goes. I figured maybe they were heavier than I am because I hit pretty good power going into it, but I checked afterwards. They're the same weight. Actually, one of them's lighter, so who knows?
Somebody's heavy as hell. That's my move.
Yeah, I can't explain that one. Normally when I pop 1200 watts going into that descent, nobody really flies past me. And if anything, I'm pulling a gap on folks. And in this case, they're putting a gap on me. But we'll fix it. Yeah, as a result, we get to the bottom here, and I'm popping power pretty hard, basically to get speed up very quickly. There's, what, 3 up the road now, beyond the ones that I was talking about, the 15 or 20 second ones. You know, this is the chase group that now is all fragmented because of the way that grade part of the descent went. So I'm trying to just do work here to pull us back together. That guy was sitting on my wheel, try to elbow him through. Another one comes through, so that's fine. I'm just shedding the feather here because there's really no use for it right now. Trying to get something better. Draft is good. But yeah, the rest of this here, it may look like I'm attacking on different parts of this. I am just trying to hit power into the descents and then coast a little bit when I'm in the descent, but definitely just keep speed higher. You can see we're, what, 5 seconds and then 20 seconds, those folks that were further up the road still. But yeah, just trying to close down to this dot that's closest to us first, and then as a group get the other 2 that are beyond that. I am steering a little bit here, probably just out of habit is the way it goes. Retrospect, probably shouldn't have been. I'm just used to when I'm diving down a descent, nose in the wind, I'm popping power and I'm cutting corners. But more than anything, I'm just trying to encourage speed from the field, bring these other folks back. By the time we get to the flat, so we're not doing the work there, you know, we can just do it on the descent. Reasonable size group, there's 9 of us here, 2 more up the road. You get to a group of 11, sort of is where we're going for. Then everything further than that, you know, that minute plus stuff, yeah, we're not likely to bring that back, but just trying to whittle my way back up the field the best I can.
It may look like I'm attacking the bunch, I'm not. I'm just encouraging speed to make the catch.
And I'm definitely not trying to do more work than the field here. I'll sit in where I can, be 3rd or 4th wheel back, but there are other times where if I can pop powered up the speed, I will, and coast. And then what?
No! No! Oh, Lord. That was a hard freeze.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but I was going to be disappointed if that ended my race that way. But we're back on it. Punching the descent here again, getting to the flats. We're there now. So mostly caught those 2 ahead, which was the goal. Pack of 11, feeling pretty good about that. And now we've got the flats, about, what, 8 kilometers to the finish. I think we can do all right from here on.
If we can rest to the finish, and I'm not stupid, I should set up well for a sprint. We're not going to catch the 38 and 58 ahead of us, I don't believe.
At this point, I'm just trying to get a sense of what we got left in the field and line up for the finish.
Wearing a SISU will now be my new teammate. Still has a jersey yet, but great group of folks. So I'll try to work with these 2. Haven't met yet, but and they don't know. but I try to work with them now. On the downhill, I was just encouraging everyone. I wasn't attacking. I was encouraging everyone to catch. Maybe shouldn't have steered in that effort, but I'm so used to it's muscle memory when I'm descending in the wind. Somebody said it late and I was like, nope. Yeah, I don't know the strengths of either of these two SISU riders, or anyone in this bunch for that matter.
But with a little less than 7 kilometers to go, nobody's really in attack mode. Everybody seems to be kind of sitting in. I'm doing much the same. A little bit of blue and gray power, recover, line up a sprint if we can, get the right power up.
I don't think arrow's an option, so I'm just going to keep the draft versus feather. If they go long, I'm in trouble. If it's short and anaerobic, I can probably gut through that. But this is why you don't DNF. Just do the best you can with the day, unless there's pain, like really injury pain. Find a way to salvage something. Do the best you can on the day. I'm going to do poorly throughout the summer, almost certainly, because I'm considering it off-season, prioritizing training over racing. Racing supports training. And vice versa to some extent, but I'm prioritizing the training. So I may come into races tired and pay the price, especially in advance, where I need to be fresh and ready at my fitness. But hopefully as we get more fit, I'll have more margin for error.
And building that fitness where we can hang with the front group, even on climbs like that, is definitely what we're working towards. That's what the training block's about. That's what the volume is about. We'll get there. But yeah, for this race, sitting in, and then suddenly I notice a red dot up the front, a little close.
We blew up here? Or is it Mboto helping me out? Or helping the group out?
I'm 99% confident Joe didn't blow up. This is Joe being Joe.
Joe didn't blow up. He just sat up for fun, I think.
Yeah, I don't even need to say anything at this point. I figured I'd just give him an emote, a little thumbs up, saying, hey, I think I know what's up, and keep on going. But yeah, with 2 kilometers to go, I'm figuring Joe's going to do a fairly hard hit at some point, sort of a lead out that I can grab onto, but before he has a chance, someone else pops it. So I definitely want to close that down, just keep everything intact, give us a chance here as we get into the final 1.5 or 1 kilometers for us to do our own thing here. But yeah, grabbing on the wheels, just sitting in, keeping things intact. A little bit of the nose in the front there, let people flow over. And I'm just sort of in wait and see mode now. I know Joe's got something in the bag. I'm waiting for him to give a pop. And again, somebody else pushes a little bit, and then I can see Joe getting onto that wheel, and I'm figuring he's going to go over the top here. So I'm just making sure that I'm right in his draft, not pushing beyond it. I figure he's going to do the work to lead out. And I don't know how hard he's going to hit it. I suspect he's going to hit it fairly hard. I was expecting maybe even like, a 10 or 12 watt per kg pop, and I would just gap the field hitting onto his wheel. But he's keeping it more sedate. 7, still pretty hard, don't get me wrong. It's hard enough that you can see that group of 12, like we're opening 1 and 2 second gaps on the back of that just by this punch of pace. So Joe's kind of got it right. He doesn't know where, I'm falling off the back. How hard can I go? He doesn't know, but he's up in the power, up in the pace. We're breaking the field up, so we get to this final 400 meters, and there's only a few of us that have a chance anymore. I'm set up for the sprint quite well, and thanks, Joe, for that. But with the field whittled down like that, I hit my draft already. I was just setting up for power, letting these folks come through me so I can actually utilize the draft, get in their wheels, break to the front towards the very end where they can't come past me again. A little bit of steering there. I don't know that I needed it. So it's a best of the rest finish. All things considered, not too bad. Joe definitely made the back half of that a lot more fun than it otherwise would have been, so thank him for that for sure. He's a class act. Yeah, he definitely didn't need to do that. I know Joe will look for ways to make the race more fun for others. That's just the kind of guy he is, so it's much appreciated. I'm not sure when or how I'll be able to help Joe, but I've got his back if he needs somebody. Here are the results. Definitely not the best sustained power, only 4.1 for 20, 3.6 something for the race, which sometimes I'm happy if I'm being efficient and I'm near the front, but being dropped and running 3.6, not the greatest. Overall results, I think I'm now 9th. Probably won't move up too much farther unless people just don't complete all their races, but I guess participation award. And sometimes participation will get you pretty far if people don't complete everything, but yeah, like I said, I don't expect to be racing for GC, just trying to support SISU and get some good training impulses in. With the fatigue that I'm carrying, I can't say this was the best training impulse if I'm being honest. And 58 minutes 280 versus a 306 that I can do. I mean, it's a good threshold tempo ride. If you look at intervals, you can see about 91% intensity, definitely the front half, not much to speak of. Honestly, outside of the climb where I was trying to stay with the front and push a bit hard, the rest of it was kind of sedate. Even the descent, we did a little bit of pushing, and of course the sprint at the end, but we're going to fix that after the race. Part of the training right now is to build fatigue and then still be able to put efforts down.
We just got the aero upgrade, stage 2 on the Halo. About 1100 kj of work in the race, about 400 kj of sort of zone 2. At the pace spot, and now I'll fall back, but we're going to do a lap at threshold, whatever the legs are going to be capable of. Hopefully south of 530, 520 something. But with a lot of fatigue in the legs from just the training plus today, we'll see where we get to.
Yeah, 1500 kj of work. Then you can see I went out pretty hard, about a 5-minute effort lap around Volcano. Went out pretty hard, popped some powder up those climbs on the Volcano circuit, then settled in, and now this final bit just hammering for what I'm worth. It isn't that much, but again, been going pretty hard for about 4.5 minutes or so. Just trying to build durability and some fatigue resilience, brick by brick.
That's funny. All right. About a second off and 1/10 off today. That second off my PB. That's funny. Tell your legs, we'll take it. And now we shut it down for the day. That was actually pretty good power at the end, all things considered. I was trying to fire just a little bit more to edge my nose above, not my avatar, but the other guy who had the daily lead, and wasn't there. That's a good way to finish a day, intensity day. A little bit of all zone 2 to quiet it down, and then a hard effort at the end of a reasonable amount of work for the day. And now we'll just let the heart rate settle for one more lap. And long zone 2 tomorrow. Probably a mix of running and cycling. Keep it going. Monday will be a rest day. And we'll see how we feel Tuesday for 6 a.m. SISU race. Probably burnt, but again, I'm kind of in functional overreach territory right now, so to be expected.
But that's it for today. I did do my strength training session in the afternoon as well. Captured some footage. Haven't had a chance to look at it, but I've been meaning to put out a video on what I'm doing for cycling specific and running specific strength training. So if it's good footage, I'll edit that together tomorrow and we'll put that out, but more to come. See you guys.